This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to the Steve and Crypto Show, presented by thestevestrout.com. This is episode 131. This one's going to be short and sweet, so I'm going solo. We're getting ready for the Grit City Comics Show, which takes place on November 11th in Tacoma, Washington at the Tacoma Convention Center. It's going to be a great show. It's kind of a back-to-basics comic book convention. It's going to be a lot of great guests. Dustin Weaver, who's done stuff for Marvel and Dark Horse, Jason Burrows, Rick Hoberg is a comic book legend, Ron Randall, Randy Amberlin, who's a co-creator of Carnage. A lot of great creators, these guys, and also a bunch of great regional artists and creators and vendors and retailers and all kinds of cool stuff. And their celebrity guest, Russell Hodgkinson, who is best known from Z Nation, the show on Sci-Fi a few years back that was pretty popular. We actually chatted with him to kind of get ready for this convention that we are also guests at. Steve and Crypto will be there. Will be the first thing you see when you come to the lobby, probably right by the Legos, but we'll be there along with our friends over at the Grit City podcast. So we'll be hanging out with merch and all kinds of good stuff. Of course, if you can't make the show, you can get merch on Etsy. Just go there and search for the Steve and Crypto merch page. And we have t-shirts and mugs and magnets and stuff. We will have stuff at the convention that you can't get on Etsy. We have some trucker hats and pins and other stuff, stickers. So yeah, check out our merch page. Of course, other ways you can support this podcast by visiting Patreon, where we're a little behind at the moment, but we're getting ready to drop a bunch of stuff in there. We like to post, like sometimes we'll do like an unboxing video, or we'll share a family trip to something nerdy. We've been doing some movie spoilers. Just it's a place where we go and kind of share stuff outside of this podcast, kind of a little more personal kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So you go to Patreon for little as $1 a month, you can get access to everything. It all goes back into the show, promoting and advertising and everything to try to grow this podcast to be best it can be, because we love doing this for you guys. Same thing, buy me a coffee. It's like a tipping service, and that all goes right back into the show. So, like I said, the Patreon, go to patreon.com/SteveCrypto. Buy me a coffee is buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto. We are all over social media, on Instagram and X. He is CryptoZoo88. I am the Steve Strout. You can find us both, and of course, we put all this stuff in the show notes of these episodes. So yeah, like I said, we're going to keep this one short, and we're going to get right to that conversation with Russell Hodgkinson. So we could talk about, his career a bit and what's going to be in store for the convention, what he's bringing, and what he likes about these kind of shows. So it's fun. It was a great conversation. We had a good time chatting with him. So yeah, before we get to that, I just wanted to mention, if you guys have been listening recently, we have been hyping up a coffee company called Expedition Roasters. It's a small like mom and pop company that has a ton of amazing coffee flavors with great themes like sci-fi and horror and pop culture themes for all their beverages. Like we just recently ran through their Monster collection. They have a series of monster-themed coffees in their coffee verse, which we drank leading up to Halloween, which just passed. Unfortunately, it came and went way too fast. Hopefully you guys did listen to those episodes. We had a lot of great guests, including the legendary TV horror host Svengoolie, which was something that I've been trying to make happen for a long time. So that finally happened. So yeah, that's about the gist of things. We hope to see you at Grit City Comic Show this weekend. It's going to be a blast. It's in Tacoma, Washington, like I said. It's Saturday, November 11th. And it's all day, and we'll be there front and center. And hope to see you guys. So check out the interview with Russell, and I will be back right after the interview to say goodbye.
Hello, friends. This is Dirk Manning, the writer and creator of comic book series such as Twisted Haunted High-On, Tales of Mystery, Nightmare World, Bear But Not Dead, Butts and Seats of Johnny Schiavone's Story, Hope, and a ton of other stuff. And I just want to let you all know that I am super excited for you, because right now you have the distinct pleasure and honor of listening to the Stephen Crypto Show. So I'm going to get out of here so you can listen to the show and have fun, because this is just some of the best podcast discussion you're going to hear on the internet. So go, listen, enjoy.
Hey, what is happening? We are on the Steve and Crypto Show, and we have a special guest here. On November 11th, you've heard us mentioning on the show that we are going to be also guests at the Grit City Comic Show in Tacoma on November 11th. And the main guest at the show is an actor. He's actually from our region here. He's a veteran of stage and films. Like, he's been in stuff like Tim Burton's Big Fish. He's in a recent indie film called The Stairs in the last couple of years, which is really good thriller horror flick that you guys should find. He was in Ghostlight, which was another locally filmed movie, which I enjoyed. And one I really liked was Zombies of Mass Destruction. He played as a kind of a redneck, kind of a little bit of a chauvinist, American flag waving kind of guy, you know. He's been on TV shows like Leverage and Grimm, which is one of my all-time favorite shows. And he's probably best known for Z Nation. He played as Doc. He was kind of, guess the hippie stoner. He was an interesting character, but we have Russell Hodgkinson, which I had to practice saying the name before we got started. The Hodgkinson, but it's a tricky one. You want to? I'm sure that one gets screwed up here and there when people intro you. But Russell, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey, really well. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Thank you for being here.
I don't get a lot of the requests anymore, you know, so it's always fun to do them. You know, it's not when the show was running, we do a lot of, podcasts and Comic-Cons. And so now it's a little slim pickings these days.
Right.
So it's always fun.
So it's been, what, like 5 years since Z Nation ended?
I know. Yeah. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, like 2019, I guess, was our last season. So it's been a while.
Do you still get recognized out and about?
Well, a little bit, not as much, but once in a while, it's fun. I like it. You know, a lot of times my hair's all, you know, up in a, in a beanie, and I got my glasses on or whatever. So sometimes people don't recognize me, but every once in a while, it's fun.
Then you let the hair down and.
Yeah, you know, I never planned to be on a TV show. It wasn't any part of my, you know, acting plans. So it kind of came out of nowhere.
Right.
Because I was living here when I got cast on the show. I was living in Seattle. So a lot of people will wonder why I'm not in LA now. I'm just because that's not my thing. You know, I like it here.
How did you end up with the Z Nation gig? Was it just a local audition? And
well, I was doing a lot of theater. I'm primarily a theater actor, but then I realized there was a pretty thriving independent film scene here in Seattle. I saw some auditions and I thought, well, what the hell? Maybe I'll do a movie. I had done Big Fish and, I mean, little bitty small parts. Don't blink your eye or you're going to miss me in Big Fish, believe me. But it's funny how just saying that you're in a Tim Burton movie, people are like, oh my God, you work with Tim Burton. I have a line. Don't get excited, you know. But it was really cool. I did get to hang out with Ewan McGregor all day, and that was very cool. There was actually more to the part, but ended up getting cut down to one line, which still, but so I knew a little bit about film work, and so I got here. I just started auditioning and got some momentum in the independent film scene, which was cool. And then out of nowhere, my agent said, they're doing a zombie series here, and you want to audition? I'm like, I don't know, yeah, I guess. And they gave me a breakdown. They said I should audition for this character, and everybody in town was auditioning for Doc. I mean, it was really one of the only monologues that I don't know if you remember the air shaft scene where I'm getting stoned with a zombie in the air shaft. Right. That was the monologue. That was the audition monologue. And so they were just, letting people do that monologue over and over, and so I went in and I kind of screwed it up. I really wasn't very good and didn't hear back. And all my buddies got called back and I didn't get called back. But then like 2 weeks later, they said, they want to see you again. Put yourself on tape. So, I had just got my iPhone and I put my iPhone out there and set it up and started taping myself doing the scene. And then I kept going back and that was bad. I tried again. So finally, maybe 3 a.m, I finally got the take that I wanted, a really good take and I was really tired. It was way past my bedtime. So I looked totally stoned anyway. Stoned. So I finally got a good take and I said, well, there you go. Boom, send. And they loved it. I'm one of the only characters that everybody said yes to, all the people in charge. So that was nice to know that they were all, I got the thumbs up from all of them, so that was cool. Like down to me and, 3 other guys.
It's cool that the take that you liked the most was at 3:00 a.m. And I guess I relate to that, and that made me kind of chuckle a little bit because like a lot of those special like creative moments that really stand out to us happen sometimes like early in the morning or really late at night, when you should be going to sleep, and then you're like, oh, I got an idea, and there you go, and look where it landed you.
Yeah. And that was like early on when we were doing tape auditions. It was really a new thing because it was still back in the day where you would go to the casting director's office and read the scene, And, I only got to do it maybe twice and I was really nervous. I'm always nervous when I'm in the room and they're, putting me on tape or whatever. So freedom to do it over and over again until I got a good take. So I love that. I love doing it now. I feel like that's the future, is just taped auditions. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Of course, my favorite is when somebody calls you and says, hey, I got a movie. And I do. That's my favorite because I hate auditioning typically, auditioning sucks. I hate it. Just give me the part.
Yeah.
Just give me a right, So anyway.
I'm sure that happens on the independent scene more though. It's like just when you just get a call with a part.
Yeah, it's great. I've had some affiliations with different people in Z Nation that have actually reached out to me. Some of the producers of gigs called to see if I'd be interested in doing a part. So I did a really nice guest starring role on a show called Going Home, which is on Pureflix network. It's kind of a Christian network, and it's a hospice scene. And you remember Northern Exposure?
Oh yeah, with the moose.
Yeah, Gary. Yeah, she played Shelley on Northern Exposure, and she's the lead. And so each week a new guest star comes to die in the hospice. And so I was this drug addicted, homeless Vietnam vet who went to die at the hospice. And it was great, really fun. I had a really great emotional monologue and really got to show some dramatic chops, which was really fun for me. And so I did that. And that's my favorite when they call you and say, hey, I got a part for you.
Yeah, they've already seen what you can do in other projects. And so they already have you in mind. That's kind of flattering too.
I might have surprised them a little because they knew I could do comedy, but I don't think they knew I could really go there. I mean, it was a really emotional, crying and just it was like a lot. And then it's like, okay, cut, do it again. And you have to bring the emotion every time, And I can just do that, man. I don't know how, but I just can do that.
You can cry on cue and that sort of thing?
I sure can. I just have a reservoir of pain to which to draw from,
Makes you a great actor.
You mentioned having a background in comedy. I actually saw an interview. I was, digging in and seeing what I could dig up on you and find the dirt, dig up the dirt. And I saw an interview and
it's there. Yeah, I got
It's
to dig
there.
very far.
And but yeah, you mentioned having a background in comedy. Was it just
Yeah.
like stage, like improv or stand up? What kind of stuff were you doing?
I dabbled in stand up just a little bit, but I didn't realize you're supposed to come up with fresh material. I mean, I didn't realize you're supposed to tell the same jokes. Like you have a set and you redo the same set.
Yeah.
And I thought I had to come up with fresh material every time I did this open mic night. And I just felt weird. Like I don't want to tell the same jokes I just told the other night. I don't know. It was weird. It's weird. I love stand up, but the venues are always like, way past my bedtime. It's not my thing. It's a whole lifestyle, stand up comedy. It's a lifestyle thing. And I'm an old homebody. So primarily, I think I got my comedy chops on stage, the old fashioned way.
Right.
Because if it's funny, because you got a live audience out there. Either they're going to laugh or they're not going to laugh. And you got to figure out, sometimes the joke that you're telling on stage can get screwed up because maybe they didn't hear it because the lady in the front row coughed or something. I mean, it could be any number of reasons why you don't get your laugh. So it's just all those things, you put in your brain how to get there, how to avoid certain situations. I don't know. Good directors help.
Do you have a preference between stage and screen?
Well, I'd love to do stage. There's just nothing like it. The rush from live performance is just, there's nothing like it. But the cool thing about like television is, you get to develop a character over time. Like Doc wasn't the Doc you guys know, wasn't on the page day one. I got to develop that role. They invite you to the writer's room and they say, okay, now where do you see yourself going next season? And what do you think you'd be wearing? And, you don't get to do that in movies and you don't get to do that on stage. It's like only television. You get to develop a character over time. And I had 5 years to marinate in this character and give them ideas and they gave me ideas. And it was a really unique experience. I'd love to do another series, to be honest with you.
I hope you get that chance.
Yeah, I'd love to. I think I will. I think I got another one in me.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's where I was going. I was gonna say, do you feel like that experience would kind of fuel a fire to maybe write some stuff for characters and television series?
I mean, I could. I could write something and pitch it, and I'm just kind of lazy that way. I don't know. I mean, Keith Allen, who plays Murphy, he wrote a movie and there's a great part for me in it. And I just see what he's going through. And it's been years, since he wrote this script and, trying to get people interested in it and then funding. And it's just all consuming. And I don't know that I like to do a lot of different things. And I don't know that I would be really great at that.
So basically just call you when it's time for you to do your part.
Yeah, and I'll have great ideas, and I'll take that script that you give me, and I'll embellish it, and I'll make it funnier and make it better. I mean, that's kind of what the actor does, I mean, there are moments in Z Nation, it's not everything's on the page. Like there's a moment where we're rifling, me and 10K are rifling through, cars, looking, just looking for bodies or looking for ammo, and I pull a cigarette butt out of the ashtray and I straighten it out and I put it behind my ear. I mean, that's not in the script. That's like ad lib. That's fun shit that actors get to contribute, and that's what I love.
Right. And it's cool that the writers and the people behind the scenes give you the freedom to do that.
Yeah, if they don't like it, they cut it. It's the editor's medium anyway. So thank God we had such great editors on Z Nation and really great writers. It was really fun. They were really very lenient. They would just let us kind of have fun. They, say, okay, do one the way we wrote it, and now do one the way you want to do it, that kind of thing. So we had a lot of freedom, which was really cool.
How did you prepare yourself for a role on stage or on screen?
Oh gosh, just you got to memorize the script, memorize your lines, do your research. I've never had any acting classes, so I don't really have a technique that I go to that I learned in college or whatever. I just so much of it just happens spontaneously when you're with your fellow actors, because you don't know what you're going to get. You got to have a person there to act with. It's hard to, I don't like to make all the choices before I end up on set. You know what I mean? Because then it's not fresh. You've already decided what you're going to do. Unless it's a big monologue, and then you have to make some choices, some concrete choices if it's a big monologue. But if it's a scene, you want to kind of see what you're going to get back from who your scene partner is and keep it fresh and keep it loose,
Yeah, like you could have this all planned out, ready before you go on set, and then like the chemistry just totally doesn't vibe with what you got in mind. Yeah,
that's exactly it. So you just kind of keep it fresh. We were really lucky. Our chemistry was so good on Z Nation. We had a really good cast. I thought they cast it really well, and I felt really good connections with all the actors and the directors too, for that matter. And the amazing crew. We had a great crew. So it's just a whole big family. Once you get in there and get going, and especially after 5 seasons, everybody kind of knows what's going on and what you're capable of, and they just let you go with it.
Yeah. I feel like having that background in comedy really develops you get like a sense of a little bit of being able to improvise on set and stuff. If you know how to read, you learn how to read other people. Like you're talking about crowd work and stuff, vibing off the audience. You learn that really well. That's why it seemed like a lot of comedians transition well into acting.
I think that's true.
Yeah,
there's a rhythm to comedy, and sometimes I'd get a line and I'd go, God, I could make that better. Let me just tweak it just a little. It's a great line, but I could, sometimes the punchline might be happening a little too soon. And if I just like take this part and move it to the end, I'll have a better rhythm, and I'll have the punchline where it needs to be at the end. Just to be able to do that, it's pretty great to be able to have the ability to have the freedom, I should say, to do that. They get it. They know, you're going to give it your best. And sometimes there'll be a line and they just say, okay, just give the line to Russell. He'll make it work. Stuff like that. Once they trust you to find the comedy in it, they'll just, they start writing for you. Once they know your strengths, all the characters, once they know your strength, they start to write for that, That's the great thing about TV. That's a great thing about television.
It's got to be a good feeling for your confidence as a performer that they have that trust in you too.
Really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling. Yeah, for sure.
So going from great feelings to less great feelings, what's probably been the toughest scene you've ever had to shoot or perform on stage?
Oh gosh. I played Prior Walter in Angels in America years ago on stage, and I had to get like completely nude, and that was awkward, and I didn't like that. So I'm trying to think. That wasn't. So you're asking me what was the most awkward or the hardest scene, or?
That's definitely awkward. Maybe probably like the toughest, most uncomfortable. Maybe like a weird, messy scene in Z Nation or something that was kind of hard to work.
Oh gosh, it's hard to say.
I mean, it'd be hard to top.
Well, in the air shaft scene, where I was thrown into the air shaft and I'm hanging on these wires and stuff, and they wanted me to be in a harness. And I was like, well, no, I wouldn't be in a harness because then I'm going to be too comfortable. I need to be really hanging there. I want it to feel so that it looks really authentic, and I'm in pain and stuff. So they said, okay, go for it. So, I was actually really hanging there, but then it took a long time, this was like early on. This is one of the first couple episodes. And I think I finally let him put me in the harness. It was because I was like, okay, I get it. But I really wanted to be in pain, I wanted to feel what it would be like,
After a few takes, not so much though, huh?
Not so much.
Harness. Yeah.
You got that harness handy still?
Yeah.
Do you think they would let an actor do a scene like that? Like, you didn't want the harness. You think they would let that slide in LA rather than here? I know you guys shot here.
It all just depends on your director, and
Right.
what time, how much time they got, what's the budget. Sometimes you only get 2 takes. You better get it because you got to move on. If you have the freedom and the budget to play around a little, yeah, I think they would be open for that. Why wouldn't you want to get the most authentic take?
I would just think maybe like insurance or something.
Oh yeah, well there's that too, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Since I mentioned filming in Washington and LA, what are is there any major differences in filming in the 2 different places? Like rules, laws, anything?
Oh, I'm sure there are. There's union, there's union rules, and then some indie films are non-union, and so yeah, I mean the union's going to have a lot of different rules, but the best part, I like doing indie films because you get bigger roles. When if you go to LA, typically you're going to be a day player and you're going to have a part in just one scene in a big whatever, and you don't get to really play. You don't get to have as much fun. But on a little independent film, you get to have a real part. You get to really have some fun.
Yeah,
that's different for me. I don't live there, so I don't get much work in LA.
I mean, if you push to, you probably could. I'm sure.
I mean, if I moved there, maybe.
Yeah.
And really focused on it. I don't really go after stuff so much. I just kind of put my intention that I'm here and everybody wants to work with me. And, I don't I don't reach for it. I don't go after it. I just, the roles come to me, they just come to me at the right time. It's just my philosophy,
Yeah.
It's just a philosophy of being in the world.
Yep.
You're going to attract the projects that are for you, and the ones that aren't for you, you're not going to get them. I don't know that maybe a lot of actors would say, what do you mean? You got to work, you got to get out there and hit the streets and audition and for everything. And I don't really care. I mean, I feel like, anybody that wants to work with me knows how to find me. And I got, I've kind of proven myself in some projects. And so hopefully people will just say, yeah, I want that guy that I saw on that TV show or whatever. Let's call him, or sometimes you just meet the right person. I mean, I flew to Florida to do an indie film and met some really nice people there. And one of the guys, one of the actors' name was Josh, and he was saying how him and his girlfriend, who's an archaeologist, have written a script, and I'd be really good as the professor in their script. I'm like, great, yeah, cool, keep me in mind. Well, just like the other day, they said, yeah, it's happening. We just got a shit ton of money and some donors and some investors, and we're going to make our movie, and it's going to be shooting in Hawaii. I'm like, no shit. I didn't, sometimes it's just about meeting the right person,
Yeah.
It's going to be a horror movie called The Isle of Boar, and it's kind of a monster movie, and the monster's like a boar that kind of is morphed, like a boar that's kind of morphed into this monster man boar something or other. Really, the drawings are so cool of the boar. And so I played this professor of archaeology, and it's supposed to shoot in February. So, and that's just so random because I just met this really great actor, and you never know. That's my point. You just never know where your next job is going to come from.
Now you get to go hang in Hawaii.
Yeah. I mean, just talking to you guys, you could be interviewing some young filmmaker and he mentions a movie that he's doing. You could say, oh, this guy would be great for that movie. And then you pitch me to him, and then I get that's how I like to create.
That's exactly how it works. Like, it's gotten me, I've done voice roles and stuff because I've, connected and networked.
Yeah. I mean, that's the magic. That's the way I like to live my life, at least. Knowing that it's out there, and just you're going to meet the right people. You're going to attract the right people into your life, and the right opportunities for you. So the last thing I want to do is go in there and audition with 100 guys that look like me, and drive and have to find parking, and then you get up there and you worked on your scene, and you get in the room, and there's 50 other guys that are trying to get the part, and you go in there and you're nervous and you're sweating and you screw it up, and I do that a couple of times, and it's just like, forget it, no fun. I don't want that.
You hear those stories about like people auditioning for 50 different parts before they ever get a call back for one, and that's just got to break you.
Oh yeah.
Not my thing at all. I'd rather do theater, and even that's hard to break in sometimes. Theaters are it's a whole other life, trying to get involved in the local theater scene and proving yourself, and because they like their guys, they have their regular guys that they go to for different roles, and you have to somehow get in. There was a period of time where they were hiring out of town directors to come in to Seattle, and so once I started auditioning that way, then I'm on the same playing field as all the local guys that typically get the parts, and then you're on the same playing field. So you don't have to worry about, they're going to give it to that guy because he got, he gets those kind of parts. You have a chance. And that's how I kind of broke into the theater scene here in Seattle, because a couple of directors from out of town came in and liked me and cast me in their plays. And then I was able to show what I could do. And then, once you're in, you know what I mean? So it's all good.
Besides besides the Boar movie that you're going to be shooting in February, do you have anything else interesting coming up anytime soon?
Yeah. I'm going to be on a really weird little thing on Adult Swim called God Fart. I know.
Really?
Yeah. And I play God. And it's kind of awesome. It's a live action short thing where, God wakes up from bed. He's really hungry, goes to the refrigerator, but it's all like live action. So he reaches in there and all he sees is an apple. He doesn't want an apple. He wants a cheeseburger, So he ends up like manifesting a restaurant. And then, I don't want to spoil it, but it's called God Fart. And it's going to be on Adult Swim pretty soon. I just got a notice from the director that it's all happening, and he's going to give me the dates as soon as he has them. But he sent me the first cut of it. It's really funny.
That definitely sounds like some Adult Swim material.
Yeah, it's totally adult. I mean, God Farts the universe. It's like, Mesopotamia, the pyramids, and the Greeks, and it's splashing all of the universe. Oh my gosh. So it's really cool. And then this wonderful gal named Christina Reinsgard has written a wonderful movie. She got cancer and lost a leg, and she wrote this beautiful, wonderful story about her experience dealing with her amputation. And so I'm going to play a cross-dresser amputee who I meet with her at a support group. And it's a great little part, and it's really poetic and beautiful. And that's supposed to shoot in January. Bless her heart, though, Christina's still battling cancer. And she's going through the whole thing, with chemo and everything. So we're just, hoping it's all going to work out, because it's a beautiful script. And we're just, I met with her at a coffee shop, and she's just so lovely and such a light, I just dying to do it. So, and she's got a really great crew from LA, and, with the strikes and everything, it's been postponed, I think, till January. So it's called Branches. It's called Branches, and her name's Christina Reingard, and she's great. So there's that, and there's the Boar movie, and then Keith Allen, who Murphy on Z Nation wrote a great great script called Candyland, and he's still trying to get the money to do that, and that's a really funny, wonderful movie, wonderful script at least, and we're hoping to shoot that in Spokane, maybe this in spring. I know he's still trying to get the money to do it, but it's a really great script, really fun. So there's those three. And then I'm reading for a couple other indie films, and they're still trying to, get it together and get the money and all that. It's always a problem, getting it all together. It's a complicated, thing. But yeah, so there's like, maybe four, or at least three pretty pretty definite movies I'll be doing, and then there's a couple other ones out there that are still trying to get it together with funding and whatnot.
Those sound like all really fun projects that are all very different from each other, which is kind of cool. It'll be fun for you to have some diversity.
Yeah, I get to play a professor or archaeology. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll play a professor. I'll put my little glasses on and go to Hawaii and be a professor. Hell yeah.
So you go from a professor to a cross-dresser to
God farting.
To God.
God farting. Yeah.
I had to do it, man. I just want God. I want that on my resume. I mean, how many actors get to put God on their resume? Me and Morgan Freeman and George Burns. I don't know anybody else. So that's fun. Yeah, so little things trickle down. Just when I'm ready to work, something will come along, And in the meantime, I'm working at the yard, and I've got a million projects around the house, so I'm keeping busy,
You have other creative outlets too. We talked a little bit before we started the zombie Barbie thing you were doing for a bit.
Oh yeah,
at conventions. I know you said you kind of slowed on that. Was there any other art projects or any creative stuff you're working on besides?
Well, I've got this little tiny house I'm working on here. This is it at the inside of it, which I'm turning into like a little guest house. Because we have a small house with just a little bitty guest room, and so I wanted to have just another space, to have like a little living room and like guests can come and stay in the guest house. I'm not going to Airbnb it or anything, but I just want to have a little space, and it's really great because it just fits in really nice in the yard, and I'm loving it. Cool. So there's that, and there's all kinds of yard work to do for sure. God, the leaves again every year. I got a huge big walnut tree. I don't know if you see it back there, but the leaves are just, oh my God, it's just unbelievable, never ending. So there's that. So there's always something to do, around here.
We're going to be doing the Grit City Comic Show, which is the main reason we want to have you here to promote that a little bit. And so let's talk for a couple minutes about conventions before we get back to your day. What do you dig about these shows, Comic Cons and stuff?
I love meeting the fans. It's all about meeting the fans for me. Love it. We would back when the show was running, we would get these the Walker Stalker cons, and we did all those with the cast of The Walking Dead, and of course their fans are wrapped around the building, and we always felt like we're the redheaded stepchildren of the apocalypse, our little zombie show, but our fans are so they're just diehard fans, hardcore lovers of Z Nation, and they'd always come by us and say, we love your show, it's so much better than The Walking Dead. There are not a million of them out there, but enough to make us feel really good about what we're doing, and so good just to meet cool fans that are really into what we're doing, and that's the best part, I think.
This is basically like the hometown show here, so is that having a little extra special because it's in your backyard?
Well, I've done so many, I'm feeling like people are going to be sick of me, because I've done quite a few local ones. So I don't know. I just keep thinking they're going to be sick of me, but so far, so far so good.
Not to interrupt you, but you could think of it this way. You could think of it as it's always somebody's first convention.
That's right. That is a good way to look at it. Well, I'm looking forward to it. My granddaughter's going to come with me, and she's going to take photos and, help me out at the desk,
Cool.
So that'll be fun. I don't think she's really been to any of it. Well, she's been to a couple, but she's it'll be fun having her with me.
Have you took a chance to check out like the website or anything for the show and see any of the guests or vendors? Is there anything you're looking forward to?
No, I did. I just don't know any of them. I'm not a comic book guy. I don't know all these artists. They seem really legit, really, really cool. I just don't. Hopefully, I'll meet some cool guys, in the green room or whatever.
Okay, so you say you're not really a comic book guy, but I'm curious. No. Say you get 10 minutes to yourself to go wander around. Is there anything that you would go look for?
I'm always up for a cool T-shirt. I'll always go to the T-shirts for cool stuff that my wife might want. Early Christmas presents or whatever.
and I'm always about the food, so I don't know what kind of food they're going to have, but I'm all about the concession, give me a corn dog, dude, give me a chili dog or whatever. I like all those, Comic-Con food options.
Yeah, that convention center does have a little like concession stand where they got like burgers and salads, and they might have chili dogs.
Cool.
They might.
I love it.
Yeah.
I know they got big pretzels, which is my thing.
Yeah,
Mine
I can
too.
do that. I can do a big pretzel.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Grit City Comic Show. It's November 11th. It's a really fun show. It's not like going to San Diego Comic Con or Emerald City Comic Con where you have it's more intimate. So
It's more back to basics.
Yeah.
More time to mingle, more time to meeting celebrities. People are going to come and meet you. I know people are excited. I've already heard that people were excited to see you there. So, and people
And
actually,
I like to take the time. I like to take the time with the fans and just talk to them, because sometimes when, like, at least I observed when some of the big stars, for like The Walking Dead, they're there with their sunglasses on and it's a big line and they don't have the time, it's just a assembly line. But, it's not like that with me. So, and that's good because I like to take the time to, really meet the fans, talk about their favorite episode or what they, answer their questions or, all that good stuff.
that goes a long way with fans to give them
that
moment. It's like for you, it's 2 or 3 minutes of your day, but for a fan that's traveled and spent money, it's like a lifetime memory. So it's
what
I mean,
it's very cool. Yeah, and we always take selfies together, and I sell patches. I got a Z Nation patch and a Z Weed patch and a Doc and 10K patch, and then I've got headshots that I sign, and we do selfies, and it'll be a good time for sure.
okay, so you
Cool.
bring all the headshots and photos, and do you have stills from like Z Nation and stuff?
Yeah, I got some great photos. They'll like them for sure.
We're looking forward to seeing all that.
Yeah, man.
Has there been anything really weird that somebody brought you to sign?
They always bring me. They always bring me weed.
That's cool. That's cool.
Or they bring me weed. They bring me.
Do you accept it?
They bring me edibles. Yeah, I tell you, I accept it. I always accept. How could you not accept a gift? A loving
Lovely
gift.
gift.
I may not eat the brownies, but by God, I will accept them.
That does show love that somebody is willing to share.
It's a great thing. And sometimes they'll buy a poster or whatever, and they want me to sign the poster, or sometimes I'll sign their body or sign their shirt or whatever. I don't care. I'll sign anything. It's all good.
I'm assuming more in the heyday of Z Nation, there was more body signing.
Yeah, there was. They were doing. There's somebody that has a tattoo of me on their arm. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, really, man? Yeah, there was a tattoo of me on their arm. And then one girl shaved her head and put Z Nation on her scalp. And we got some hardcore fans. Pretty cool.
That's
so
neat.
listeners, you guys hear that? You got some crazy stuff to top. So you show up on the 11th, come with a tattoo or something crazy.
Yeah.
I
Excellent.
want to see some wild
I'm looking
shit.
forward to it. Yeah. Should be a good time.
It's definitely going to be a good time. Is there anything you want to add before we let you roll?
Oh, not really. I pitched all my little upcoming gigs, and I don't know. What else can I tell you? I'm going to see my little. I want you to see my little house, my little tiny house. See it back there?
Oh, that's neat.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah, but I don't like the color. I got to paint it over again. I'm not digging the color. So when I got it, it was just white, and I tried to paint a little, I don't know, kind of a trim color I don't like. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to paint it white again. Anyway, I can't think of anything else. These are my leaves I got to rake up when we hang up.
Oh boy, it's
a never ending amount of leaves. So I got plenty to do to get ready for con. But it's the magic hour. See, this is magic hour. Do I look good?
Yeah.
The magic hour when they want to.
That Washington sun shining through the clouds slightly.
This is when filmmakers want to shoot. They call it the magic hour. Everything looks, really vibrant. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so
Yeah.
you guys are you gonna come over and say, hey, when I'm there? We'll have time. If I have time, I'll come over and see you guys
Yeah,
We'll
definitely.
definitely
and see what you're up
we'll
to. You
definitely
ever
hang
start
out.
doing interviews and stuff?
Potentially.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
hoping to. We usually mingle and see what's interesting and what we want to hype on the show. Like if we could, we'd
Sure.
interview everybody and promote everybody, but it's hard to do.
Yeah, we usually
Yeah,
try
Life
to
gets
at
in the
least
way.
talk to like one or two people if we can.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you reached out to me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. We will
Yeah, good chat.
see. We will definitely see you on the 11th. Listeners, come to Grit City Comic Show in Tacoma. Hang out with Russell. Hang out with Steve and Crypto. Our friends from the Grit City podcast are going to be there. A ton of awesome artists. We're going to have a good time. Let's do it.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Hey, this is Dr. Gangrene. You're watching the Steve. No, you're not. You're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show right here on whatever network you're on. I don't know what you're on. Don't ask me. I can't see what you're doing, but keep listening and tune in next week for more cool content on the Steve and Crypto Show.
All right, we are back. Thanks to Russell Hodgkinson for hanging out. That was good. Sorry, there was some. We had a little bit of audio issues, but I think overall it sounded fairly well. It was a great talk, great chat. He's a good dude. I really enjoyed talking with him. Definitely look forward to hanging with him at the Grit City Comic Show, which again November 11th in Tacoma, Washington. So if you are in the Northwest, try to come out, hang out. It's very family friendly. It's always a nice crowd. It's very pleasant. Lots of amazing vendors. I always end up spending way too much money. But it's enjoyable. We love it. Luckily, like we're guests and behind a table, so I don't get out to spend as much as normal. But I always take a minute to look around and support as many artists and vendors as I can because that's what it's all about. All supporting each other, helping each other grow as creators, whether you're a writer or a comic book artist or actor or podcaster. Whatever you do, whatever medium you work in, we all gotta support each other because that's how we grow. That's how we improve. It's how we get better at what we do. So yes, do it. Let's hopefully we see you there. Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to check out patreon.com/SteveCrypto. For as little as $1 a month, you get access to everything. Buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto. It's like a tipping thing. The merch page. Go to Etsy, search Steve and Crypto merch. Get us on social media. He's CryptoZoo88. I am the Steve Strout. Of course, leave reviews for the show. Leave ratings and reviews wherever you listen, wherever it applies, whatever podcast player you use. I know Apple, you could leave reviews. Spotify, you could rate shows. There's Good Pods where you can leave reviews. That's a good one. We've actually been regularly towards the top of the entertainment charts on Good Pods, so that's pretty exciting. And of course, we couldn't do it without all you guys listening. So hopefully you keep listening. Hopefully you keep supporting the show. Hopefully we see you at a live event soon. That would be nice. It's good to put some, I was going to say faces with your voices, but you're hearing our voices. So you put our faces with the voices. Yeah, that's about it. I think we are going to get back to preparations for the weekend. We will get ready. See you guys in Tacoma on November 11th. And hope you guys all had an amazing Halloween. I know we did.